Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to this week's service. Last week we went over unboxing your past. This week we're going to unboxing your future. What's in your box of future, you may ask? If we could open your box of future, what would you find? Dreams waiting to be fulfilled? Wrapped in uncertainty? A jumble of excitement? Fear? And the unknowns? Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. The future is in God's hands, not yours. Proverbs 16:9, in their heart human plans the course, but the Lord establishes their next steps. Romans 8:28, God works all things together for good. Psalms 139:16, all the days ordained for me were written in your book. God prepares before he reveals. Sometimes it feels like God is silent, but he's preparing you privately before he will promote you publicly. Not every no is rejection. Sometimes it's making you perfected. I went through that myself. For about 26 years, I kept on hearing a no, we can't promote you. No, we can't do this. No, you're not ready. Oh, just keep on going. You'll get there. You'll get there. I mean, me personally, I think there are those no's in that perspective, yes. But when you've been in the field for so long, sometimes people also as well are jealous, in my opinion. Not all the time, but sometimes they are. Especially when you know that you have so much to give and give more. And my personal experience on a lot of this, in the field, is that when it comes down to it, is I think it could be pretty much any field. To be honest with you, let's just take that back a little bit. Say that you were working over at like Walmart, for an example. Okay, so then you're doing so well in that like department. You want to ask for a promotion. You want to maybe move on up to a different department that has better hours and money. So you try to do it. They tell you you're not ready yet, but you might have been there already for like 3-4 years. Okay. What happens is they don't want to lose the best person that can do that job, because they're going to get rid of you to go over to the next job, the next section, or department. But for a fact you're better. But sometimes it could be a no to hold you back to train you. Sure, but I believe that it's always a mixed emotions on that. You got to feel out that situation. But in faith, praying is about the best option to do. If you feel that your prayer is not getting answered, then sometimes you have to take the next steps, and you have to take control of your own life on things, because other people might be holding you back for their personal gain and not yours. So, and this one is, fear is the greatest thief of the future. Right? I mean, you don't want to be fearing that you're going to lose your job if you try to ask for promotion, but you know that you really want to have that better stepping stone to get somewhere better. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear. Fear says this: what if I fail and I fall? What if I choose the wrong? Isaiah 41:10, do not fear, I am with you. Common fears about the future: fear of the unknown. Don't know what's going to happen next if you maybe happen to get a job promotion. Maybe that job promotion might be good in that long run, but what if for some odd reason, especially with all the companies going out of business, that you take that promotion, now you're stuck there, because now let's say you're a store manager, the company declares bankruptcy, they have to liquidate, but you're the manager. You might be signing contracts or whatever. You have to stay there until that store is not closed. Where if you're an employee, they might cut back your hours and might get rid of some of these employees, and then you might be able to find a job before that store closes versus, you had to wait. So there are some things you have to wait for. The fear of failure, just like that. What about if I fail? What if I succeed? That's always in the unknown. Fear of disappointment. Oh man, I didn't get that, job, or oh man, I didn't get that, promotion, or I didn't get this or that. But sometimes it's a no, because you have to wait for the Lord to tell you when it's okay, and that's fine. But Psalms 37:24, through he may stumble, he will not fall. Ephesians 3:20, God can do immensely more. That is how you unbox the future. Matthew 6:34, do not worry about tomorrow. Faith is not passive, it's very powerful. Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord, him even if in silence. What part of your future are you still having control in your life? Trust means surrendering the unknown to the higher, powerful Lord. Preparing for the future starts with obedience today, not tomorrow. Luke 16:10, whoever can be trusted with very little. Be faithful where you are. God sees your faithfulness. But refining now is what's next. Your future rises or falls on your character. Say yes to the small things, and God will trust you with the big ones. Obedience opens doors to so much more. So in conclusion on this, it's time to unbox your future. What can you do that will help out your future to grow in your faith? Is it maybe reading the Bible more? Me personally, I struggled with dyslexia all my life. It was hard to even read a book. But you know what I do? And I still have a hard time reading the Bible, but I still try it. I mostly do this. I have the Bible app, and then I have the audio, and I just listen to it and I follow along. Because I don't want to just turn it on. I have that thing where I can't just say let's do a podcast, for instance. People are driving and everything. I start visualizing, that, and it's kind of like you don't want to be watching a movie while you're driving, right? Well, that's how it is, So I don't do that. What I do is I turn on the Bible app. I'll sit there, and it's almost like I'm reading, kind of like the movie Star Wars, right? At the beginning, they have all the words and everything, and you're reading it, they're reading it, and yeah, that's the same thing. I'll sit there and I'll look at it, and I follow along with it. It might not be my voice that's saying it, but I'm reading it and understanding it. I found the way that will help me when I, cannot read that well. So what I would suggest on that would be use the Bible app if you have a hard time growing in your faith. That's the number one thing. Number two, I'd say go on YouTube, but trust on what you find, because there are so many misleading things on YouTube. You don't want to get the wrong one. I would say find some trusted people that you know, and then I would say go on to their videos and then watch them. There are a couple of people that I could suggest, and when is this post on YouTube, I'll see if I could try to put those in there in the comment section below. If not, then, because I want to make sure I give you guys all the right information. Me personally, I like that guy. He does very well, and I would say he's cool on things. So, but back to all this, that God will always love you, and you just have to trust in him. He might not answer your future right away, But sometimes it could be a no, and sometimes it's a hard no, and sometimes it's like a no to where he's waiting for something or someone to come into your life. Just like say, I was doing, the church startup and everything. I had a couple people reach out to me after I launched it, and they're like, I would love to be part of your church. But then meeting up with such people, and it's not like they were the wrong type of people, but they were just not the right fit for the church. So I had to give them a no. Maybe work on yourself and then come back. I'm not looking for just anyone. I need to be able to trust people with the contents of what goes into a whole entire church aspect when we're doing things. So that's the reason why I even had to say no to people. And I know how I felt when I had heard the word no. And I didn't understand that. And then sometimes it's just how it is. We're about ready to wrap up on our message very soon, and we're going to go into our Easter service. You don't want to miss that Easter service. Our Easter service is going to be so amazing that we have been working behind the scenes on getting rights to certain things for content so we can be able to bring it towards you. And so that takes time. And luckily we got some stuff back already. We're still waiting around. And our services will be Friday, where it's a Last Supper, then leading up to Saturday on his death, and then leading on to Sunday, the resurrection of the Lord. I know a lot of churches used to do the 3-day, thing. And I don't know why a lot of churches geared away from that, to be honest with you. I personally love the 3-day thing on for Easter. And you don't want to miss it. Because when you have it where it's laid out, the 3 days, the most important 3 days of history, the most important days in history, you want to be able to take that all into an account. I know a lot of churches, what they will do is they'll have the exact same service they would do for a Sunday, and they might do it like, say, a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or they might do it Saturday and Sunday. But churches need to start getting back into why you are a church. Having that identical services constantly like that, especially for a holiday, which is not really technically a holiday, but it is, but it's a life-changing event, not a holiday. Make that clear. We need to stop thinking that the church is just to come and learn and then leave the church. We need to step into our faith a little bit more. We need to learn about the Lord and why are you important to him and you are important to him and you. So I challenge you, though, this week. Ask yourself, why is my future being held back, and how can I get it to move forward? Like today's message, right? Me, I'm moving forward in a whole different direction. I see a future for this church other than a lot of other churches are just like cookie cutter. Being in the church field for so long, there are programs, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to get copyrighted and striked on this for the recordings, but a lot of churches, they get a curriculum. You go online and then you can purchase these plans. So like, say, I'm going to use for like a children's ministry for an example. If I take my kid to one church on Sunday, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we go to another church at 11 o'clock in the morning, she's going to learn exactly the same thing. But we don't want to do that here at City Way Church. We want the future of the church to succeed better than that. We don't want to be cookie cutter. We want it completely different. We want it to be extraordinary, the best. I'm not saying it's going to be the best in the whole world, but we're going to try to do our best. We can't promise you everything. We can try to bring you any kind of content we can, but we also have laws that we have to uphold as well too. We can't step on people's toes. We can't say this or that, and we can't bring you content from, different, like, say, if we want to show clips of movies or songs, we got to make sure we uphold all license agreements on that. So that's the reason why we're taking our time and doing what we can, because it's not about cookie cutter bringing out the same church. We don't want having the exact same church. You can go anywhere and can learn about the Lord, but we here at City Way Church want to bring you the best, maybe different, unethical, or whatever word you want to come up with, a different way of teaching. So thank you so much, because it's you, the people, that are going to bring this church into a whole different future. And my favorite line in Back to the Future is what Doc Brown says: your future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. So I tell you that I live by that every single day, because I'm going to try to make it the best one I can, but with the Lord. I don't want to have a life, a future, or anything like that without the Lord. I got to have the Lord in it, because He is the one and only that is the highest power in what you can do in your life. Thank you so much. Catch you next week.